It's that time of year again, where the nights last longer, where the temperature plummets, and where the already grey British days somehow turn even more grey. However, despite all of that, it's still nice to get cozy, make a hot drink and sit down with a nice Christmas themed game. That one game that invokes Christmas nostalgia for simpler times. Nowadays, games tend to have Christmas themed events, usually having a Christmas cosmetic item or three, but there's not that many games that go all out on the Christmas theme, that change the level design or music that fit with the vibes of the winter holidays. Fortnite has its winter fest event, and Final Fantasy XIV has the Starlight Celebration event, for a few examples. And while they're nice additions, it's still just an event, rather than something that changes the game proper. However, go back a few console generations and you'll find plenty of games that went all out on the holiday season. There were games where you play as Santa, there were games where you play as the elves. Hell, there was a game where, as Santa, you would bowl the elves down an aisle. And then, there's Viscera Cleanup Detail, where you have to clean up after Santa had one too many eggnogs. However, for me, when it comes to Christmas games, I can think of none better suited for that than Nights into Dreams. Now you're probably thinking, Chaz, you've already spoke about Nights, it's the first video you've done on your channel. And you're right, but we're not talking about the full game here, oh no. We're instead talking about the demo Sega released in 1996 for the holiday season. Now, demos were pretty common back then. They used to burn several onto one disc as a way to sample different games before buying them. However, unlike most demos, this one's different. It's special. This one had content that was only on the disc. This was, in itself, its own game. A side story to the main game. With its own things to unlock, its own story mode, it used one of the levels from the main game, Spring Valley, but changed it enough to make it feel like its own thing, and it even has its own music. It also has the first 3D playable Sonic, but more on that later. And no, Sonic 3D Blast does not count. With his own boss fight against Eggman. For a simple demo, a lot of effort got put into this, and it's the main reason why I wanted to talk about it today. So, get cozy, put a blanket on, make a hot drink, because we're delving into yet another Sega Saturn classic. If you're watching this, I'm going to assume that you know the basics about Nights into Dreams, or you've at least watched my previous video about it. But on the off chance you have not, I will give you a brief rundown. You play as Elliot or Clarice, two children who are going through some self-identity issues, and Nights, a funky little jester thing who dualizes, or combines in simpler terms, with the kids. And then you fly around each level, or course as they're called in this game, trying to get the Idia before the time limit expires. Run out of time, and you and Nights separate, leaving you to do this walk of shame back to the start. After doing 4 courses in each level, you get sent to the boss room, ultimately ending the game with a big fight against Riala, Nights' twin, and Wiseman, Nights' creator. And the two kids learn to accept themselves for who they are, and end up stronger for it. Simple, really. However, the main draw of Nights is the fact that it's a score attack based game. It's simple, deceptively so, but because of its simplicity, you can go back again and again, perfecting each run to get that highest rank possible so you can brag to your friends. It's also a fairly short game, with about 8 levels total, although 1 is reused of both characters so it's more like 7, but it's one of Sonic Team's best, back when they could experiment with different concepts that are not just Sonic. So what do you get when you take the setting of Nights, a game about looking through your dreams to find inner strength, and slap some good old Kris Kringle in there? You get what is one of the most joyous, coziest feeling games I've played. The gameplay loop remains the same. You walk up to Nights, now sporting a festive new look, and being trapped in a cake this time.
Ha! This cake?
And go through all 4 courses, kick Gullwing's butt, and call it a night.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
But Chazwhick, I hear you ask, you handsome / pretty thing you. What if we're not playing this on Christmas? Well, Sonic Team thought of that as well. The game uses the Sega Saturn internal clock, and depending on what time you're playing the game, the setting will change. You have one for Happy New Year, where the main menu music changes, and Elliot and Clara sporting these fancy costumes. You have the generic winter setting, where it's just a snow theme, and the kids are wearing appropriate winter gear. April Fool's Day swaps nights out for Reala, and, of course, whenever you're playing the game around the Christmas period, it will be Christmas themed, with Santa and his sleigh slowing up at random points if you play on the 24th or 25th of December. If you play at any point outside these settings, the game will default to a Nights Limited Edition version, with the game setting and overall look matching that of the original game. So already, this is a pretty beefy demo. The fact that there's so many events packed into one disc is impressive for something that was given away for free, but set dressing is not all that this game brings to the table. When you start the game for the first time, you're presenting with the opening cutscene, where you find that Clarice and Elliot are going Christmas shopping, but due to the rustle and bustle of shopping, the Christmas spirit seems to be missing. I'm guessing they never went shopping in London around about this time of year. They both look at the central Twin Sea Tower, decorated like a gigantic Christmas tree, and see that while they decorated the tower like a gigantic tree, whoever did the decorations forgot to put the star on top. They feel that with no shining star on top of the tree, everyone's feeling a little bit rushed. So, after doing their shopping for the day, they both go home, get some shut-eye, and end up back in the land of dreams, Litopia, where they're promptly beaten up, robbed of their idiot, and left behind like day old cheese. And Nights has been captured again. Just like old times. Just in case you have not watched the previous Nights video, Idia is basically human dream energy, each colour representing something different. White being purity, blue, intelligence, green for growth, yellow for hope, and red being courage. The red one is special, as it's always with the person bearing it. It cannot be stolen, at least not by some random big boss lackeys. Anyway, back to the game. After a brief fly around collecting the 4 stolen Idia, we're sent to the boss where we have a one-on-one against Gillowing again. Only this time, he's sporting festive wear. Look at him. He just wants to celebrate Christmas with this tree and his star that he found. Oh, he's dead. Okay then, moving on. The next day arrives with Elliot and Clarice meeting up again. I'm just going to assume they're doing more Christmas shopping. Elliot running towards Clarice to say hello. However, there's snow everywhere, so he can't stop himself in time and ends up barreling into her. Everyone rushes over to check up on them, and then they all have a festive chuckle over what happened. Looks like the Christmas spirit returned to them all after all, and Twin Sea Tower is proudly showing its Christmas star for everybody to see. Showing that all you need is a bit of festive cheer to make the holiday special. The end. After each run of the game, you're sent to this menu, where you have to match 2 pictures up to unlock something. The higher the rank you get in the gameplay segment, the more presents you can open when you get to that screen. And when you clear one screen, you get sent to another. There are a grand total of 3 different present screens, each one with different rewards, so it'll take you a while to unlock everything on this bit. They're usually pretty simple things, a sound test, gallery, maybe you'll land on a Reala space and get booted back to the main menu, you get nothing, good day sir. But there's also a time attack and link attack mode, where you aim for the best time or highest link record on the level, which is good if you like improving times or scores. One thing worth noting about link attack especially is that you don't go through Spring Valley in this mode, you go through Frozen Bell instead. Not too sure why this is the only other level that gets represented in this demo, but it's a nice change of pace nonetheless. Then, there's a whole new game mode where you play as Sonic in his first ever 3D debut. Again, Sonic 3D Blast does not count. Since you don't fly with Nights, you get to just wander around collecting chips and just explore the landscape. It's a whole lot more chilled than the Nights gameplay, and there's no egg timer chasing you down trying to give you a rude awakening. You still need to get all the Idias in the same location of Nights, and once you get all 4, you return back to the prison cake thing where Nights usually is, and you get to fight your own boss fight, this time against Eggman, looking a lot more balloon-like than Egg. I'm guessing inflation hit him pretty hard. And once you beat it, it gets sent back to the main menu. There's no story in this mode, it's just a, here's Sonic, go at it, which is perfectly fine. This is just an additional mode to what is already a free demo. The controls here do leave a bit to be desired. I think the controls are only slightly better than Sonic are, but let's face it, that's not really saying much as I do love that game. And the animations can look a bit wonky at best. I mean, just look at Sonic Run. He's less running and more doing a weird shuffle. I'm pretty sure this entire mode was just a, can we make this work kind of thing. Who knows, maybe it laid the groundwork for Sonic Adventure. The A-Life system was reused as Sonic Adventure for the Chow, so it's possible. Either way, it's a nice addition to what is already a nice free game. Another present you get is this Nighttopian tracker, which tracks and tells you the status of all the Nighttopians in the selected level. This was not in the original game, and as they were the basis of what would turn into the Chow in the Sonic Adventure series, it's nice to actually keep tabs on how they're doing, see how much they like you, or, depending on how much of an arsehole you are, dislike you. What's even cooler is that you can also read the save data of the full Knights game, and it tells you what's going on with that game's Nighttopians as well, which is a nice bonus. And if you want to ensure that no one will ever speak to you again, you also have the karaoke mode, where you get to sing dreams to your heart's content. In a dream I could see you're not far away. Anytime, any place, I can see your face. So, not only do you have a small taster for the main game, you also have several different modes to play around with, and access to concept art and trailers, all for free. Well, I say free, but if you want to grab a copy for yourself now, you're looking to spend around about £10 to £20 depending on the condition of the game, and that's for the original version on the Sega Saturn. The re-release that came out on the Xbox, PS3 and Steam did have Christmas Nights as an unlockable bonus, unlockable after beating the main game, but that was a neutered version. You still have the Christmas set dressing, but a lot of the clock features were missing. You can't change the main menu depending what time of year it is, and it only had the Christmas mode on there, so there's no New Year's, no Valentine's Day, Christmas, and that's it. Along with this, the presents feature was ripped out, no longer asking you to match images after completing a run, you just get sent straight back to the menu. The gallery is still available, but the unlockable Sonic segment was taken out for some reason, along with the karaoke, so no more bad singing for you. So, all in all, it's a solid demo of what is already a solid game. It has enough features to make it stand out amongst other demos, and has content that will make it last a fair bit of time. If you like the original Knights, or if you want to try something a bit more bite-sized before diving into the main game, I wholeheartedly recommend this demo easily. Although I would suggest trying to find the Sega Saturn version just for all the little extra goodies that are there. And hey, at least if you can't find that, you got the Steam and Xbox release costing about... yeah, right, forgot about that. Ho ho ho. Thanks for watching the Christmas Nights video. I'm very glad I was able to get this out in time, otherwise I'd have to rename the video New Year's Nights into Dreams. And that doesn't quite have the same punch to it. This would have came out sooner, but I really wanted to make the Our Old Games Disappearing video while it was still fresh in my mind. Check that out if you haven't already, I put a lot of time and effort into that one. I am not asking. So, what are your go-to Christmas games? I've talked about mine in quite intensive detail, but I'm always on the hunt for some more Christmassy goodness. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing, it does help a lot. And follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter. And I hope you all enjoy your holiday season. Next video will most likely be my top 5 games of the year, and then we'll back on to more retro goodness. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next year. Ciao.